I would describe what I do as being a media composer in a general sense. I write for movies, I write for films, television, video games, all kinds of things. And I think in the modern day, that's sort of what we all tend to be doing. There's a couple of spots in my upbringing where I definitely touched on film music, and I didn't know how important it was going to be to me eventually. My family is actually originally from Boston, and we spent every summer there. And I can't even remember how many times I sat on the park in front of the Boston Pops hat shell and watched John Williams conduct E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so I was a huge fan of movies and music. And then I got to high school and I wanted to be Eddie Van Halen for about 10 years, and then finally sort of really got back into composition. And then fortuitously I actually ended up on a Henry Mancini scoring session as an observer when I was at USC in my sophomore year, and that changed everything. I changed my major the next day and I've been doing this ever since. I think for me, the dealing with the speed and the turnarounds on things like especially television, the big part has to be don't overthink anything and really trust yourself. That's certainly something that I didn't necessarily do easily early on. I always was thinking there was some other way or better way or whatever. And I think I've really gotten better at just letting whatever my instinct is take over and start quickly. That's a huge portion of sort of getting done on time and having it be right in television. So to know that Pro Tools and the S5 and all the hardware works together, it has to be that way. I think the one thing that anyone in the entertainment industry will agree to is that Pro Tools Avid is the standard in terms of digital audio, mixing, delivering the way they mix on a dub stage, music editors, the way anyone works as far as delivering sessions, it's always a Pro Tools session. And to be able to deliver that way and also understand it is invaluable. But, almost every major film composer or TV composer who has their own sort of studio and is delivering big, wide mixes, including a lot of the big mixers too, they've all got the S5. And there's a reason for it, because it's got incredible amounts of adaptability and diversity in terms of setting up mixer models that allow you to get the amount of buses that you need, bring in and out reverbs and all that kind of stuff. The only way to do that is to have an S5. And so for us, when we started looking around at everyone else we work with or are colleagues of, we just noticed that all we kept seeing was this board over and over again. So when we were going to put a board in this place, we didn't just jump in because it was what everyone else had, but we definitely went up and got the tour of the board and got the description and realized that there was a reason that everybody had it, and it was because it did what people in our position need it to do, which is work fast, work steady, and then give options to quickly spit out wide mixes that you don't have to deal with that in a record room. You don't have to deal with that when you're making an album or a band thing. That's a very film and TV and video game specific, request, and there's no other piece of gear that does it better than the S5. And so once we realized that, then it was just a matter of how do we get one and how do we make it work here.